It's absolutely fine. For the record, I have read 2 impact statements, one from a paternal aunt and one from April Mannion. Please take your name for the record.
Faith Green.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with the outcome. There's no punishment that fits the crime. Not even torture and death would be justice. Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity for murdering 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure as a man. Plus the other 2 lives you took. You are a con artist, you are a monster, you are a devil in disguise. You are now forever exposed. I've thought over and over again what I would say, even though it doesn't even matter. First of all, I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do. What you tried to do didn't work. I am and was a damn great mother to all of my children. I was their mother and father. I'm the one who took out the time with each and every one of them. I taught them how to do things as well as people in my family and friends. I taught Chadney how to treat a woman with respect, how to fill out a job application, mock interviews, how to pay bills, encouraging him to give his all in his schooling, producing movies, and his drawings. He was a great artist. He graduated from Specs Howard for digital media arts. He wanted to be a producer to make movies. I taught Kara to stay focused, aim high. I showed her how to drive, how a young lady is to carry herself in an orderly manner. Be all that you can be. Try out for everything that you're interested in doing. Pursuing higher education. We were filling out college applications. She wanted to be an OBGYN doctor. She was going to graduate this year from high school. I taught Coy to be open to new things like learning a new language, be confident in doing her schoolwork and in herself. She loved doing arts and crafts with me, letting her imagination run wild. She loved dressing up and putting on my high heels. She would make me laugh, looking at me over her glasses like a little old lady. She loved ballet, cheerleading, and planting flowers with me. My Kaylee had the greatest memory. She loved singing. She loved to carry her purse, which was always filled with hand sanitizer and lip gloss. She loved getting her nails painted and sometimes doing it herself. She also loved ballet and cheerleading. She loved balloons and playing outside. I taught them to be giving, loving, and respectful, to help others, to volunteer. They were not selfish children. Coy and Kaylee were learning about kids less fortunate than themselves. I took them with me to purchase items for Christmas and explained to them what we were doing to make them happy. I always encouraged them and told them that they can do anything they put their minds to do. Those are the lives that you took. You tried to separate them from each other. They are siblings who loved each other and spent time with one another. Trying to split them up didn't work. They are together more than ever. Chadney and Kara are still watching over their little sisters, Coy and Kaylee, forever. I carried each one of them in my womb for 9 months and raised them. Nothing or no one, sure as hell not you, can break me or break my bond with them. But while I stand up here trembling with fear, I put on my bravest face to be in the same room with the man who murdered all 4 of my children. 2 of them violently in front of me with the gun, Chadney and Kara. And he killed my other 2 babies, Coy and Kaylee, with a hose that ran from the tailpipe of his car to where they were innocently sleeping. As if that wasn't enough, let me tell you about some of the devastation that it has actually done to me and my family. My short-term memory is gone. Doctors tell me it's my brain protecting me from the memories of my children being shot in their heads right in front of me while I was gagged, duct-taped, and zip-tied. Every time I find strength to get out of bed, as soon as I walk, I'm in extreme pain, sharp pain, from where he shot me in my foot. They don't know if I'll ever walk again without pain. Think about that for a second. Never being able to again to walk without pain. My doctors say I have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's where the migraines and nightmares come from. Sometimes I dream of the night all this happened and wake up screaming and sweating, thinking that I can save my children somehow. Then I realize that the nightmare is actually reality and my children are really gone, and I try to find the strength to start my day somehow. Other times, there's just crazy nightmares that I wake up from in fear and try to understand them, but I am told that they all link back to this horrific experience I have had. I can't think of the last time I really rested without medication. I can still feel the zip ties around my wrists, and it triggers horrible memories of that night. There's times I find myself drifting off into thought and then realize I'm not thinking of anything. I'm empty. Lost. I'm lost, not really knowing what to do with myself, just existing day to day. I miss my children so much that words will never be able to explain. All I ever wanted to be was a mother, a wife, have a happy family, raise my children to be productive members of society, and be happy. The reality I face now is this will never happen for me. Time will never heal this wound. I will always be empty. A part of me will always be missing. If the day ever comes when I do wake up and it's not the first thing that I think about, when I look in the mirror, I will always be reminded by the scars he put on my face, cutting me from my ears to my chin with a razor blade box cutter. The pain on the left side of my face never goes away. He cut me so deep that it severed multiple nerves that may never heal correctly. I lost so much blood. I was in critical condition for days. I should have died. Some days I wish I would have. He has scarred me for life. My whole family is devastated emotionally by what has happened. But it has extremely been hard on my parents. They love their grandchildren with all their hearts. Most days my mother has a hard time getting out of bed and has been in the hospital a few times, but my father is taking it the hardest. He's not the same person he once was. The stress has taken a toll on his health. 2 weeks ago, he was taken to the hospital because he had a stroke. I honestly don't know where to go from here. I'm numb. There's a hole in my heart and soul that can never be repaired. The loss to me is so big that I will never truly recover for the rest of my life. I will be forever in pain and heartbreak. This wound will never heal. This wound will never heal. I would like to thank the court and you, Your Honor, for the time you have allowed me to speak. I would like to thank the prosecutor's office and staff and all the police officers who helped in this case. In closing, I understand the recommendation of the sentence, but I would like to recommend, as a victim myself and the mother of all 4 murdered children, life in prison without the chance of parole. Thank you. Faith Green.
Thank you. Anything more from the people?
Your Honor, just a few statements to make. I would note for the court, and I believe you mentioned that there were a couple of typewritten victim impact statements from the Allen side of the family of the 2 older children that were submitted for your consideration. I would also be remiss in not mentioning that there are members of the Allen side of the family in court today. They have chosen not to make a verbal statement, but I have assured them that the court has considered their statements in the sentencing today. I'd also like to make it clear that as a prosecutor, I've been involved in this case since the night it happened. Every police officer, every victim advocate, every prosecutor that has looked at this file or touched this file or worked on this file will forever be affected. I tried to think of what I could say today, but honestly, Judge, there just aren't any words. It is tragic, it is heinous, it is beyond evil, it is unconscionable what this man has done. And as Ms. Green stated, these scars will never heal. They never will. Also, I would like to make it clear that this plea agreement was not entered into lightly by the prosecutor's office. There was a great deal of consultation with the family members of these 4 children. They understand that there is a possibility of parole, but they also understand that Mr. Green sits before you as a 50-year-old man who will not be eligible for parole until he's 97. It is the sincere hope of the people in this case that that day never comes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Longstreet, would you like to say anything before I give the client an opportunity to speak?
The defense has respectfully requested the court abide by the sentencing agreement in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Green, is that time and date set for sentencing? Is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf, sir?
I just want to say, well, first of all, thank God, saying, only He can judge. I do regret and I'm sorry for what has happened. All I've ever wanted was a God-fearing helpmate that would support me and be faithful no matter what, as well as dedicate to the whole family. That put aside, I have to be humble, very humble, because God knows the heart, and He knows how regretful, how sorry I am. And even now, after all this, He still has a plan. And I'm not giving up on that plan. Because God is God. And there's not one day that go by that I don't think of my girls. Not one day, often picturing them playing and talking to their Heavenly Father. And, I pray that God be with Chad and Kara. I feel bad for how this has deeply impacted everyone. And may God help them, help me, help us all. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Mr. Green, of all the tragic cases this court has seen, the facts of this one are by far the worst. Fathers are supposed to protect their children.
Yes.
Husbands are supposed to protect their wives. I didn't know how I would sit here this morning and get through listening to Ms. Green testify about what happened in this case, yet I look at you and you appear utterly unmoved by everything that she said.
Yes.
Your actions are inconceivable and beyond understanding. I hope that the families affected by this tragedy can heal. As a practical matter, this court is confident that if I follow the sentence agreement in this case, you will never be released from prison.
Yes.
And rather than decide to, in the event I were to say, nope, this isn't enough, the family would be forced to take this to trial, and I don't want Ms. Green to ever have to endure what happened again. She already has to live with it every day. So for that reason, I'm going to follow the sentence agreement. I'm convinced that you will be incarcerated for the remainder of your life.
Thank